Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host from Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero of sight, defender of the fatherland, of it, glorious, spectacular, and near magical 1v1 here on Nexus. In these cities, Mirassol, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the... how about the 5th Panzer Division here with Luftwaffe supply doctrine with airdrop medical supplies, the Luftwaffe field officer, supply drops, incendiary bombing runs, and the heavy bombing run. The west it is VonIvan fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. Here with combined arms featuring anti-tank and ambush tactics, guards rifle infantry, recon air flight, heavy howitzers, and the precision bombing strike. Is special rifle command study for VonIvan versus double grenadiers for Mirassol. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, wonderful people and all. Without them, support the Propagandacast would just not be possible. Other people to follow in the heroic example pledge on Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal. Links in the description. And if you're in the market for PR companies free, you can just have a link in the comments. Use the code CoH2 as it is written there. And also, comment, like, share, subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. So, VonIvan here with the 25th Tank Corps. Special Rifle Commands there. Triple Grenadiers for Mirassol. Sandbags here in the east. Grenadiers moving towards the centre as well there. Not going really for any of the fuel points right away, but perhaps he's swinging northwards after having started out with the infantry coming in south. That's an interesting approach here by Mirassol. Meanwhile, we got VonIvan heading southwards here with the Punions of the Engineers. They're also busy around the centre here. Steadily advancing there for Deutschland. 3rd Grenadier Squadron was ready here for Mirassol and the 5th Panzer Division. Heading southwards with the Engineers, the Penal Troopers. Steady start here so far. Combined arms definitely not one of the more common Soviet commanders, and Luftwaffe Supply sees a bit of play with certain players, but even then, it's not exactly a meta commander, though I do think it's a fairly solid one. In particular, actually remember to make use of the Luftwaffe field officer, who I think is actually quite solid. In fact, both Wehrmacht officer type units are quite solid. And it's going to need some engineers here. 2nd Penal Squadron was done there for VonIvan in the south here, advancing for the glory of the Red Army. 4th Grenadier Squadron for Mirassol. Sees in the centre here with the German infantry. Further north, Grenadiers busy here for Deutschland. Otherwise, not a lot except that quick exchange of fire here around the centre between VonIvan and Mirassol has quickly quietened down once more. 2nd Penal Trooper squad here. I imagine VonIvan's looking to build up more critical mass of Penal Troopers before going in offensively here versus Mirassol. That way he's looking for a gap he can exploit here versus his opponent. Obviously just charging against the Grenadiers in the wrong places could be pretty bad for VonIvan, of course, and there are other places that could be pretty powerful. But there you go. At max range, in these kind of situations, they're not great for the Penal Troopers. VonIvan quickly dashes away here. Going for the carve point there. Not that it's really cutting off a lot, truth be told. And there you go. Trying to use the train here to bait. Mirassol is pursuing it that way. Closing the gap between the Grenadiers and the Penal Troopers without realizing it, allowing the Penal Troopers then to turn the tide on the Grenadiers, because up close the Penal Troopers will absolutely decimate the Grenadiers there with a semi-automatic SVD-40 semi-automatic rifle. I said semi-automatic too many times, didn't I? Anyways. 3rd Penal Squad could be calling with VonIvan. Interesting enough, we're not seeing an additional unit in here for VonIvan versus Mirassol. There we go. 3rd Squad on the way. Bit of a delay here. Flamethrowers up here. Won't make it a bit harder there for Mirassol to easily approach. He's got 4 Grenadiers, no tech. Is he planning a 5th Grenadier squad? Or is there something else that Mirassol is scheming versus VonIvan? We'll have to see. 3rd Squad is on the way here for VonIvan. And there we go. Tick for Mirassol. And the German army up north here. Point seized by Grenadier squad there. So far leveraging all of that infantry versus VonIvan fairly well and aggressively here. Punions catching the Pioneer, pushing them back there. 3rd Squad almost done, so increasing VonIvan's overall infantry presence here versus Mirassol considerably. He will certainly need some amount of infantry to fight back against all of Mirassol's troops. And he's catching the Punions there by the Grenadiers by the southern field point here. Rushing in for the glory of Commander Stalin. Pushing back the Grenadiers here with some well-aimed semi-automatic rifle fire. Fun fact about the SVD-40, it would actually serve as the basis for the Gewehr-43, specifically the firing mechanism. As the German G41's firing mechanism sadly was flawed, and so the Germans kind of used captures SVD-40s to figure out, oh, we're just going to do it like that, and thus the G43. Fun fact. And we got a lot of mega supplies here, like to mechanize company for Mirassol. Guessing a 2-2 though. But that many Grenadiers, like a fast half-tech, could also be something to consider backing up the Grenadiers with, giving Mirassol a fair amount of further mobility versus VonIvan, but 2-2 is just by far the standard choice here. Grenadiers almost wiped out. There we go. 2-2 for Mirassol and the 5th Panzer Division. Grenadiers, they got the carve point, denying Mirassol precious fuel. He's also starting to hit more carve points. Very good play there by VonIvan. Denying the Germans fuel, of course, is critical. I mean, generally it's always critical to deny opponent fuel, truth be told. There are some factions a bit more critical than others, partly because they can be hurt more by denying them fuel than others. For example, against the Brits, you know, not too much. Anyways, 2-2 out there for Mirassol. Like the punchy Spearwagen here for the 5th Panzer Division. Mirassol are trying their favourite to VonIvan going for his carve point here. Will VonIvan, I imagine he's going to go for some guardmen soon. Almost got the Grenadier squad there, but Mirassol is narrowly able to dodge it out of that one before they get turned into paste. Carve point there being claimed here by VonIvan's engineers rushing forwards for the glory of the Red Army. Charging the Grenadiers there, and there we go. We do get the guards rifling into for VonIvan. I imagine we're looking at DP light machine guns as soon as possible there. I would also not be surprised to maybe see another guards rifle squad eventually for VonIvan versus Mirassol. Dropping lots of medical supplies out of the base here. Southern few of them being hit by Mirassol. Quickly leveraging again the larger quantities of infantry squads and general finale to pressure VonIvan more. And of course the mobility of the armoured car. Guard squatting north at sea. Some light damage inflicted here on the 222 leichte Panzerspielwagen. Sonderkraftfahrzeug 222. Fuel upon the south there apparently being allowed here to be grabbed by Mirassol. Sure, that's great there for VonIvan, honestly. But there you go, Grenadiers setting out, not fully reinforced, but at least they can get reinforced on the way out. And ooh, we actually get the fairly rare Luftwaffe field officer. Not a common pick there, even for the players who do go for it, but I still think he's a pretty solid pick. Very solid assault troops alongside him. He's also got some very good abilities. Plus he gets access to strafing runs and smoke drops as well. He's like pretty handy, I think. But again, like so many of these types of units tend to get overlooked because they do require to, you know, use the abilities fairly cleverly to get the most value out of him. But again, if you do, he's pretty good. Plus, as mentioned, the DPS the squad can deploy is also pretty solid. So it's actually like a really solid, I think, high utility unit. But there you go, rifling the guardsmen, pushing them back here. For now, they're almost losing the entire guard squad already, which would be pretty rubbish for him. Pretty great though for Mirassol, of course, to get them annihilated. Steady push for the center by the 5th Panzer Division, 6th Panzer Grenadier Company. South here, point being seized from the engineers and the penal troopers. Further up north, the armor car going straight here for the penal troopers. And these things southwards here. Now, of course, might be at the stage where it's going to be taking up soon here versus Mirassol, at least calling in another guard squad. North here, we're into a bit of issue here as Mirassol strikes swiftly. And further fighting here in the south. Grenadiers going straight for the car point again. Got the officer busy in the centre. He is close. They're being exterminated here by Mirassol and the German army. Armoured car they're pursuing as well there for Deutschland. Car point there almost seized here by the German army. They got there for now, rushing in penalties with two sides here, trying to catch the Grenadiers, then a bit of a wedge and trying to intimidate entry faster here. But Mirassol only retreats once the penal troops are actually on the point here. Almost got the send over the officer. Teams up north, running into a lot of opposition here from Mirassol. Teams rushing straight into the officer and the Grenadiers. That could get a bit uncomfortable there for VonIvan's penal troopers. And there we go, we actually get the Inspiring Aura, which buffs nearby infantry and vehicles and tanks. Doesn't buff himself, though he needs to use the diversion ability for that one. But it's also pretty handy. But thumbs up this for Mirassol for actually using this ability. Like, it's actually quite good. Particularly in units with a lot of DPS, like Grenadiers, light machine guns, or Panzer Grenadiers. There you go. Obviously in the way, though, himself has seemingly expired, so it's just the Fallschirmjägers that made up his retinue there. They got pushed back to the command squad. We got the Tankovi tank command there being activated here by VonIvan. Could see T-7 being unleashed against Mirassol to turn the tide. Got some advancing there with the DP-27 light machine guns. Further south here, Grenadiers standing about.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
And there you go. Tankovi tank command almost done. We got mine troops up. Obviously concerned about Mirassol laying down mines, which is a very sensible concern to have. As if VonIvan were to lose a T-7 to a Telemine pretty fast, he would obviously be in a really, really bad spot versus Mirassol. And Mirassol, in fact, is already taking up here, leveraging the map control he's had here, in particular on a map like Nexus, which has more points than average. this can definitely become very powerful. It's similar to Crossroads in that regard. So VonIvan is definitely a bit on the back foot versus Mirassol already here. And we'll need to do some heavy work here versus Mirassol to really turn the tide. He risks getting buried beneath a tide of panzers. And of course, that could be an argument for him to not go for the T-70 at all, because he's going to want like T-34s. North he got to push back with the Pioneers, backed up with the officer here. Again, consistent use of the inspiring aura ability already. Very nice to see that. Thumbs up there to Mirassol. South we've got them being attacked by the 2-2 and the Grenadiers here. Further up north, he pins with the advancing Grenadiers and of course the officer. Firing away heroically with his little Luger. See, Otto, mein Luger is effective. Ja, ja, Herr Oberleutnant. Ja. But he does go for the T-70, probably feeling, yeah, he's going to have to do that no matter what. He needs to pressure Mirassol, needs to bleed him. And, you know, probably he's going to have to bank then on anti-tank rifles, like deal with any initial German Panzer advances against him. Up at northern field, the Mirassol and the 5th Panzerdivision strikes hard for Deutschland. Grab the southern cut-off point again with the Grenadiers. Still, VonIvan is starting to exert some more effective fuel control here versus Mirassol. Of course, Mirassol does bleed, and also he has access to supply drops, so he can even get a bit extra fuel, munitions, plus support weapons there if he needs it. Surprised, in fact, we haven't seen that at all for Mirassol yet, but he seems to be riding fairly high here on his initial successes with just a bunch of Grenadiers, the officer, and the armoured car. T-70 rolling out here for VonIvan. Further up north, or Pioneers base with the northern point here, backed up by the officer, which is already getting close to Veteran 2. Machine and Gewehr there for Mirassol. Interesting enough, again, we're not seeing a supply drop here, that you kind of figured do that. Oh well. Either way works out from there. Go T-70 here for now in the Red Army. Mirassol will have to put the Supremo course soon, or, you know, go for a supply drop for the Pack 40. We'll have to see. Pioneer there spotted, routed in the face of VonIvan's T-70 light tank. South Peak is moving forwards. Straight for the car point. Again, focus on disruption of the opponent's economy. Thumbs up there to VonIvan. Of course, Mirassol's doing the same there in the south. We've even got smoke bombs here to cover the retreat there. Very sharp there, and again, it's free with this commander. Supremo there for Mirassol. Comes with the Grenadiers, machine gun going up here. And we got a settle charge here. Oh! Wiping the Grenadiers here. VonIvan pulled a sneaky one there on Mirassol. He did not apparently see that one coming. Devious play there with VonIvan. Leads Mirassol shot one Grenadier squad and definitely helps VonIvan, so we shall say, close the gap between them squad-wise, numerically anyways. Meanwhile, officer Grenadiers been recaptured the center. We got rifle grenades in the Guardsman quickly dodging out of that one, but the officer uses this dodge to close in there. Vetchi 2 doesn't have the missions over diversion, but still up close the officer with the Luger, and of course, more crucially, the MP40 wielding Fallschirmjäger should be able to come here. The guards, rifle infantry there, go down 2 men. We got a grenade here, almost taking out the officer, and flamethrowers could finish him off, but no! Mirassol is narrowly able to pull his officer to safety. Well, most of the officer's unit. The officer himself has expired. Certainly, German officers at the lower ranks suffered typically higher rates of attrition, to the point that by late 1945, it would not be uncommon for lower ranked officers to command high up the chain as well. There now, fun fact. Anyways, officer reinforcing there. Panther 4 there for Mirassol. There's also partly, of course, on the German Auftragstaktik sort of concept, which definitely put more pressure on German officers, like, you know, get the work done and you lead from the front. Anyways, Panther 4 the rate for Mirassol will be a headache here for VonIvan. He's got, well, a pair of anti-tank rifles, and that's it. He can add more anti-tank rifles versus the Panther 4. That, of course, will fall a bit short. He could, in a pinch, go for the Issue 6, and here to push back against the Panther 4 there. But otherwise, VonIvan's options are a bit limited if you're dealing with the Panther 4 for now. Because it can't easily take up either. For now. So anyways. Officer there. Steadily approaching the east level. Where his inspiring aura actor gets even better. Got the guys with the Panther 4. Doing a fair amount of damage, buttoning up here. One thing you want of guards rifle, anti-tank rifle compared to regular anti-tank rifles is they get a bit of deflection damage. So even if they do not penetrate, when they do damage your tank, they still do damage to the tank even if they don't get penetrating hits. So that's a bit of a detailed key amount of the guards rather than infantry. But there you go. For now, not going for the 6M. He does go for the mechanized summer company. He's not slowed down. He is not intimidated by Mirassol and the 5th Panzer Division. Orthia got the officer leading the way again here. Not fully reinforced though. Mirassol apparently cannot wait for that. Need to fix up that T-Center light tank pretty rapidly. Getting north of the Grenadiers. And of course, for some veteran get access to the Stuka suppression run. Bad ability to have access to there either. Can be handy in a pinch. Mirassol, they're going for another MG42 here versus VonIvan. Obviously looks to further control the flow of infantry versus opponent. Thumbs up there. And VonIvan, I imagine, he's just looking to toss tanks at his opponent at this stage, which is obviously also a very solid strategy. Got the guard for the counter and the officer here on the point. He could deploy smoke here. Nice play there. With this, he's kind of forcing the guard to have to, like, you know, walk within close range. They could have dropped it a bit further away. There's a technically contested point while standing on it in the smoke, but there you go. VonIvan doesn't care, just goes straight up close to the guardsman, and he does suffer a bit there. But the grenade does successfully dissuade Mirassol's officer from hanging around there. Well, his, I don't know, command team there. More like a liaison team, I suppose, if you will, to coordinate with the Luftwaffe. And that was the thing, by the way. Basically had, like, you know, people from the Luftwaffe are working with the ground troops, that way coordinate air support between the various units. Fun fact. T-34 some 6 there for VonIvan. South here, Pumes and the East moving up. We'll have to see what Mirassol goes for next here versus VonIvan. Pumes are about to get wiped out, though. Yeah, that's going to be a bit luckier for VonIvan if they do not get wiped out. Yeah, they got wiped. That was, I'm guessing, a bit of a brain fart or something like that from VonIvan. We'll have to see. All the way T-35 of T-34 some 6 halfway done. He doesn't have 85s with this commander. More medical supplies here for Mirassol. And we do get a mine goes off for killing 2 grenadiers. Troops enforcing healing. T-34 some 6 almost done. Got the officer there almost fully healed up and reinforced and almost veteran free. Which will certainly be quite a while since the Luftwaffe field officer in the first place and actually get that far. If we've ever seen him get that far on the channel, actually, now that I think about it. T-Center then countering a Pantherfast is forced to withdraw from combat for now. Machine gun getting flanked here by VonIvan in the south. His T-34 some 6 has arrived. And now Mirassol is definitely a bit of a tough spot because besides the Panther 4, like, if he loses the Panther 4, it gets outflanked. It could cost the Panther 4 then be a vulnerable to the T-34 from 6. But even then, like, the T-34 could still, like, hit a lot of troops elsewhere. So there's a slightly problematic situation here for Mirassol versus that T-34 from 6. I mean, if VonIvan just goes straight at the Panther 4, obviously not as much. But it certainly has potential, like, to really hurt Mirassol elsewhere. Like, for someone in the center right now, they're going to be completely vulnerable to the T-34 from 6. Then for now, that way he can do a lot of damage. Plus, he can soon fill up another one. But admittedly, Mirassol can also soon fill up with another Panther 4 there. But I'm pulling back the T-34, the 4 moving forwards again. Probably doing this way to ensure the T-34 doesn't, like, make any weird moves that could make fighting harder as it gets into the combat zone. Slightly Panther faster there. Gonna is routed. Reinforcing healing. Bit of quality between Mirassol and VonIvan, and there we go. Mirassol with another Panther 4, but VonIvan is also going for another T-34-76. And he's also replaced the lost Grenadiers. Whereas in comparison, VonIvan hasn't replaced the lost infantry himself. I mean, he could consider, for example, another guard squad here, since more anti-tank rifles, more DP light machine guns could be a pretty handy investment here versus Mirassol, obviously, overall. Panther 4 heading out there. They, of course, benefit from an MG42 being added on top, but Mirassol appears not to be particularly interested in that. Wrecking sandbags, engineers going up. T-Center is thinking about there, spotting ahead for any targets, any surprises there. And the south, Glenn, said one of those surprises from VonIvan. And there you go, air recons here from VonIvan. Getting good ideas to what Mirassol's up to and how to maybe exploit that. Thumbs up there. T-Fed arrives, but so is the Panther 4. Big engagement right now here. He's got the officer grenadiers and the T-Feds moving in there. Machine Gewehr holding up some of the infantry under VonIvan's command. There we go. Pops the inspiring oil, which boosts all nearby infantry, but also the tank here. Veterans 1 gained. Satellite charges off here. Very nice to see this ability being used because I do think it's a bit of an overlooked one here. And machine gun team lost up north. Great move there by VonIvan. Using the T-Sun off to clear up the machine gun. Could then be grabbed by the troops up there. And yeah, that's going to be a problem there for Mirassol. Meanwhile, with the second T-Fed for rise in the south here. The Panther Force are now being moved in here. Bit of notice up Mirassol. So hopefully something else that going to hurt him. Almost losing his ace off in the process. Carphone being hit by the Pioneers. Has a lot to manage, but still grabbing the northern point, denying Mirassol pressure shield. But there we go. As he's doing that now in the south, the T-Fed 4 doesn't move fast enough here and risks getting knocked out by the Panther Force, except both bounce off the T-34 from 6's armor. That is really good luck there for VonIvan. No mistake. And the Grenadier Squad gets wiped in front of the Ace Penal Troopers. Mirassol is getting slapped hard. Machine gun lost and a Grenadier Squad. He still does have an infantry advantage over VonIvan, and he's of course looking to replace the losses, but that's not exactly great here anyways. T-34 fixed up, of course need to fix up the other T-34s from 6, in particular since that one is close to Veteran 2. Choosing about there, reinforcing healing. T's on the ground in the calf point, being pursued by the Panther 4. Got the guards from there, hard at work, they're buttoning up the Panther 4, doing some damage there. T-34 from 6 creeping ahead. At this rate, VonIvan will soon be able to go for a third T-34 from 6. At which point he can really start swarming Mirassol with just the sheer number of tanks and the sheer shock effect they can deploy with their guns. Aircraft shot the sky here.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
We got the MD almost being caught here by the MD-42 team. We got the machine gun team here in the south, covering against any attempt by Mirassol to seize us on the field point and victory point head on. Panther 4 diving in here. Whoops. Slip there. Fill up north, going to grab northern point. We got the Penals rolling about here for VonIvan, ready for a sneak attack. And he can now go for a third T-34 from 6. Of course, they'd also go for the Issue 5. Well, theoretically, you could still consider some Issue 6Ms. To back up his T-34s. Slightly more cost efficient than the Issue 5, but well. But again, just going for more T-34s from 6s is honestly just a really excellent strategy, make no mistake. T-7 catching the Grenadiers here. Blasting away there. Bit of standoff here across the southern axis here between Mirassol and VonIvan. The tanks. Now looks like Mirassol is going to attack force with this Panther Force. The Grenadiers here. Officer Grenadiers in the south here as well. We've got Pimps with the light machine gun. The T-34 almost done up north here. The assault here does seem to draw Mirassol's attention here, but it does also cause his formation that's going to be a bit more messed up, which theoretically, if VonIvan spots this with the air reconnaissance, he could charge in now and deliver some heavy damage here to Mirassol, particularly once the third T-34 arrives here. So we'll have to see, will VonIvan leap upon this discovery here from his reconnaissance aircraft, or will he just sit back there and not do anything here? Third one arrives, maybe he's waiting for that. Meanwhile, though, Mirassol's bringing a third Panther 4 himself, and up north here by the fuel point here. VonIvan's Penals are being mauled here by the Panther 4, backed up by two Grenadier squads here. But yeah, VonIvan, I feel like missed an opportunity to not, deliver some heavy damage to Mirassol there, but that shows my perspective. Third T-34 arrives, and now VonIvan goes in the offense. Also now that the air reconnaissance is gone, so doesn't quite know as much here. T's moving up north against the Panther 4 there. But he's rushing the center of the machine gun there, could be in trouble here. He's clearly going on a mission to hunt down the tanks, the way he's ordering his tanks not to fight like infantry. That's clearly an intent to swarm the Panther 4s one by one. Which, I mean, is still a really sensible strategy. Of course, in this case, squad with the other Panther 4 does go for that one, but the shots are bouncing. We see here VonIvan now sort of dithers about here. This means he's less focused, and this means he's also just taking more damage than necessary, not really dealing anything efficiently, honestly. There you go, finally get some damage on the Panther 4s here. T-34 bounces shot there with limited health. Somehow, despite everything, this kind of works out for VonIvan. Mirassol sort of veers away here, not quite willing to commit here. We got the Panther, we got guards, we need to button that one down rapidly. No buttoning up here though. Another bounce here though, good lord. Still no buttoning up. Oh, there you go. Finally buttoning up here on the Panther 4 there. Almost got it. See a shot from the interior to the rear armor. It's definitely not great here for Panther 4. There you go. Crusher, some poor bastard dropping the DP light machine gun. T-34 from 6 there. Knocked out Panther 4 down. Gonna lose another T-34 from 6 though. No, the shot bounces. What on earth has VonIvan encoding his T-34 from 6s in? Guard squad wiped the VonIvan's infantry preservation there. Running afoul of the laws of, well, firepower. T-34 finally knocked out here. 2 tanks though narrowly about to get knocked out here. But VonIvan cannot pursue, he cannot finish them off here. But he's quick to at least pick up the DP light machine guns. Maybe the MG42s before they fall into the hands here of Mirassol. A absolutely brutal engagement here. Ruthless and merciless. When he's being rolled out in the open here, imagine they've had the officer up there to boost the Panther 4s with the inspiring oil. That could have gone really nasty there for VonIvan. Air recons again here. We got medical supplies being moved from Mirassol. The skies are busy, but not with the combat aircraft. Tanks that are being repaired. Just to add insult to injury, the T-34 there is abandoned. So in the end, he traded one Panther 4 for like a T-34 76 for all intents and purposes. That's still in the end not good then. Of course, crucially, he did get a lot of valuable experience on the Panther 4s. They are there too, which does make them tougher. And the machine gun got wiped. But there you go, using the smoke screen to cover up the salvage of it. Nice work there. That said, I would probably prioritize repairing the abandoned T-34 rather than one that could pull its arse out there on his own. But that's just me. Either way, fresh T-34 arriving. More sending out. VonIvan desperately needs more troops though. And again, this is, I think, one thing Mirassol is quite aware of as he maintains those full squads. Minimum. That T-34 will not be recovered. If it doesn't recover, obviously, again, it does become a 2-for-1 situation there for Mirassol. Which, of course, is good for him. Less good for VonIvan. Around the center here. Panther 4 moving in. And right before VonIvan... and another bounce. And another bounce. Comrade, why have you been coating these tanks in Dimitri's sweaty socks? What? Yes, it works. Look. That's a third bounce in a row. What on earth? 4 bounces in a row. And it's VonIvan that takes care of it. I guess he just felt sorry for his opponent there. Finally a penetrating hit on a T-34 76. Like, statistically, that's pretty unlikely, but here we are. Obviously need to retreat here, though. 10 kills, ace low, but also low in health. Another T-34 76 there for VonIvan.
We have 300 points remaining.
Heading in with the T-34 there. Halfway to the ace level. Still really battling the infantry. That said, the infantry he does have is like 6-man ace level equipped SV40s and a bunch of light machine guns. And they have access to the last man abilities. I mean, these are some pretty tough guys, but I still think VonIvan would benefit from having some access to some more guys. Mirassol bring in the Stugs, the Sturmgeschütz 3 as VNG. Needing something with a bit more punch here. That's likely to bounce, I guess. North Eastern is pushing back the surge a bit. They'll be actually almost appear like they hadn't seen any bombing around. There's actually something else happening there, I guess. Aircraft shut down. And there we go. T-34 ready here. VonIvan quickly replenishing losses. Of course, Mirassol not quite as fast, but with the power of the Sturmgeschütz, anything is possible, yeah. There you go, Sturmgeschütz da SVNG ready. T-34 sitting out there. Officers about to be called out in the open by the T-34s from 6s. Rapidly routed there under a storm of firepower there from von Ivan's T-34s from 6s. Panther 4, they're halfway to this guy. The Panther 4 striking here. Engaged by the T-34s from 6 shot bouncers. A few more kills there from the Panzerkampf Falcon as it approaches the east level. At this rate, the von Ivan can soon up another T-34s from 6, which would obviously be really, really powerful. I still think you should go for some more infantry, like an guard squad. He would do, I think, von Ivan a lot of good here. So, of course, all these... Oh, he's actually added anti-tank routes, I think, here to these pumps as well there. Yep, so they can actually access the anti-tank saddle charge. It's obviously not bad either. T-34 shoots, misses. Panther shoots, misses as well. Stub. Has it been forgotten about? No, not really. Just sort of holding back. There we got smoke being applauded, I think, here by him. Yes, thumbs up there to Mirassol. Nice use of the officer there. But I can now again go for that 4th T-34s from 6. Still no additional infantry called in. Got Mirassol charging in there for Deutschland by all appearances. Beginning with the Panther 4s and the Stug. There you go, need to be careful around the center tank saddle troops. They almost got the T-34s from 6-8. Main gun out, saddle charge though on the Panther 4 here. But it survives here. T-34s from 6 almost knocked out, but the Sturmgeschütz 3 Ausführung here. Piontroops machine gun right in the center here as Mirassol mercilessly punishes von Ivan's forces there. Maybe he's planning HE5 or Katyusha here versus Mirassol instead of a 4th T-34s from 6. I mean, that is possible. Finally got some guardsmen in there, thumbs up. Definitely need some DP light machine guns on them as well. Do also have access to a precision bombing strike should become necessary or plausible. Meanwhile, we got all 3 victory points of control here of von Ivan bleeding out Mirassol, fixing up the Panther 4 here. Officer there being enforced rapidly as possible. Comes up north there, routed by the Panzerkampf Falcon arrives here, the Ace. And we do get the H5 tank strike here from von Ivan, bringing in something with a bit more gunnage here against all of Mirassol's Panzerwaffe here. Makes sense. And for the southern victory point, Mirassol of course looking to stem the flow of victory points here to halt the bleeding. Reinforcing healing here. Guards moving about here. Mirassol with a 2nd Grenadier squad. I mean, 2nd Stug, not a Grenadier squad. He's got plenty other than a 2nd Stug for some reason. I don't know why my mind went for that. But anyway, 2nd Sturmgeschütz there. That's going to push him 2 Panzer Force, 2 Stugs, which will be a fairly formidable armoured force as long as us mishandles it. The Panther Force can deal with both infantry armor fairly well, but the Stugs can certainly massively smash down armor. Can even with the machine guns do some damage versus infantry. So definitely, like, I think a highly mobile strike force then there. There you go. T-34's ready. HE5 moving as well here. Also moving up here as well. Far south, the machine being flanked with the machine gun and the penal troopers. And there you go, 2nd Sturmgeschütz Ausführung ready here for Mirassol. And the 5th Panzerdivision. Panther was the guardsman. (209 versus 308). Looks like we're about to see a pretty large armor battle here. You see him bring in Pack 40s now. But there you go, straight to the HE5 here. The Panther 4's being pushed back here. Veteran fleet on the 2nd Panther 4. That's 2 Panther 4 aces. That's certainly a significant force there, armor-wise, here for Mirassol. Definitely going to be a headache from von Ivan unless he, you know, just allows to get shot to bits by the HE5. That would obviously be very bad by Mirassol. Up north here, though, von Ivan sneaks up here behind Mirassol's front line. Goes straight there for the northern victory point. Going to keep the bleeding, kind of keep up the pressure. Mirassol going to keep trying to stress him out there. Thumbs up to von Ivan on that one. H5 creeps ahead here using the focus side ability there. Stug's falling a bit back here for now. Further up north here, Panther rushing, push back the Strafbat there. Pack 40 ready. With all the packs and machines he's gone for at this point, he might have benefited a lot from a supply drop. Oh well. He's also got the incendiary bombing runs and the heavy bombing runs here. There you go, Panther Force in. They're going to make use of the train to flank around here. von Ivan's forces would appear. Stuke's attacking from the front, back out of the packs here. Really nasty arm engagement. Even got a heavy bombing run being unleashed against von Ivan doing the assault. One Stuke goes up in flames. Asian 5 down. Oh dear, and there we go. The heavy bombing run goes down. It knocks out the T-34 in his own tank. Almost kills the engineer squad as well. That was an ace Panther 4. He just lost to that. Other Panther 4 is about to get knocked out as well. Stuke races ahead here for Deutschland. And now we got a precision bombing strike from von Ivan. Apparently not here to be outdone by Mirassol. And he hits the machine gun almost out the Canadians. Ah, the utter carnage. 32 on the Stuke. Shits and edit. Thumbs up. Guards from Pumas there flanking the Stuke. Oh dear, need to get out of there. Buttoning it up here, deploying smoke there. Nice save by Mirassol. Another T-34 from 6 there for von Ivan. Yeah, that was an absolutely insane battle there. So many losses on both sides. In fact, now they both have the same amount of infantry left. Also, meanwhile, though, continue to use duty there for Deutschland. They may want to pull back here before the Pumas and the machine guns rip them apart there entirely. Another Panther 4 for Mirassol. Pumas and machine guns setting up. People are getting flanked here with the Panther 4 Ace. 26 kills. Also, may want to either pull the Stuke away from the front line or at least turn around there so it isn't easily flanked. Second T-34 is ready for von Ivan. T-7 is still alive, by the way, east level. Using it to grab points. Because they're being bombarded by the Panther 4 AC, we got 27 kills. 28. And there you go, insane on his rounds here. Not entirely sure why, but A for effort, I suppose. Engineers setting out. They need to fix up the T-34s from 6. South, we've got the T-34 up there for von Ivan and the Red Army. South, we've got the T-34 pushback on the Grenadiers there. We got 195 to 296. Guards in the corp with the Panzerkampfwaffe out in the open. Quick to button up there, though. Ace level game. Oh, 32 again. The guards are not quite ace level yet. And he's counter-attacking back closely up by the mighty officer there. Once again, not fully reinforced here. Further up north here, Panther 4 there suffers damage. Engine does prepare the Penal troops there, leaving the northern victory point to be kept here by Mirassol and the 5th Panzer Division. Pulling back the Stuke and the Panther 4 Ace. Then the engineers ready for von Ivan, as he's lost quite a few as well. Bit quiet here as both sides are licking the wounds and making preparations for the next cataclysmic engagement here. Do think he'd benefit from a machine gun on the Stuke. That's just me. South here, we got the T-34 6 rolling in here. For now, I'm getting ready for an assault here. He could also soon... He could, after a bit of while, they go for another T-34 from 6 as well. Guardsman's the Grenadiers up north here. Panther 4, they're routing a Penal squad there quite efficiently. No mercy there for Mirassol. We got 166 to 96. Setting out there. Lining up for another push in the center here. Better conventional. Got the Stuke moving up first. I want to use the more veteran. Panther 4's again soak up some hits better than the Stuke here. Pims will flank up here onto the Panther 4. And there you go, incendiary bombing run here against von Ivan. Stankiewicz more of the commander at this point. You'll only know to use the Luftwaffe supply drops and then gone full bingo basically on the commander. There you go, right, the machine gun, good work here up north. People right about the Panther 4 here. Situation for phenomenal. Air stance look a bit tricky here versus Mirassol. A fair bit trickier. And another Sturmgeschütz for Mirassol. Another Sturmgeschütz for Deutschland. Almost got unused wipe there. Panther 4's blasting away there. T-Field's being hauled back to the base here. Phenomenal clearly not willing to commit them head-on versus Mirassol, which is quite frankly very sensible. Goes for Nation 5 tank destroyer. More medical supplies there for Mirassol. Mirassol does look to be holding a lot of the cards here in the match now. The second Sturmgeschütz is ready. Putting up to 2 Stug 3Gs. Early models. Which you can typically tell by the gun mantlet there. Which in this case is more squarish compared with later models with a more rounded one. That's a better chance of just bouncing off shots. There you go, 85 tanks are there ready for VonIvan. Stugs. Bit here and there. Mirassol's getting his armored force up a bit thinly there. I mean, you can understand there why to a degree, but I think tactically it's a bit advisable. Makes it easy for VonIvan to just swarm some of the tanks isolated, destroy them, or in that case the Stugs. Now you got Ace Panther 4, that's going to be the receiving target here. A lot of focus from VonIvan. We do get another incendiary bomber around here trying to mess here. We got the Stuga tank from north, perhaps that was the plan, I guess. Being able to line up for attack from other angle. Got the pack forward here, but there you go. Flanked here with the T-Fed force. Really nice flank here for VonIvan. Really been great use of the train. Catches here the Stug. Virtually 2 then a really bad spot here. And the Panther 4 as well. Really powerful flank here for VonIvan. But at the same time, we got the Panther 4 there running into some other nasty stuff. Almost. Actually, that's the Stug that's about to get knocked by the H5. It does get knocked out as well there. Heavy losses on both sides. Very heavy loss of the T-Fed force from 6s. Basically with a bit of assistance there. Did knock out both the veteran armor pieces there from Mirassol. But there you go. With a pack turning around here, so we've got that. Mirassol is able to swing back here and slam VonIvan into the ground. The Stug goes down to the T-Sen. Was it the Incendiary piercing rounds? I'm not entirely sure. It was the Incendiary piercing rounds finishing off the Stug there. By this point, though, VonIvan's odds are looking pretty grim. He's got no infants left. He's got a machine gun and a T-70. While his opponent still has infantry and some other stuff here going, so safe to say this is a GG game over still. And a really amazing fight here between these two parts, because again we actually get a pretty good use here of the Luftwaffe Supply Commander and the Luftwaffe Field Officer, which I think is one of those fairly overlooked Wehrmacht units. Make good use of a lot of his abilities, including inspiring aura, so thumbs up to Mirassol. Also some really amazing tank battles here between the both sides. And of course, nice use of stuff like heavy bomb guns. Really exciting ability uses there as well. So, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family, but don't your enemies. This is Imperial saying cheers. Thank you for watching. Until tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.